The Great American Beer Tasting, Jarred Farts, and the Boys Get Charitable. This week on Jim, Joe, Steve Show.
Here's a story about 20 years ago. Three bros who grew up in Baltimore to the beach show. Every summer they had to go before they got married with kids. Now they all grown. Long trips to New York and Toronto. Playing beer pong with Captain Morgan's free throws. And if you don't know, now you know. Coming in hot, Jim, Joe, Steve Show.
Hello and welcome back for some more Jim, Joe, Steve Show. My name's Joe.
I'm Jim.
And I would be Steve.
And we are here to celebrate life.
Friendship.
Before
we get into anything, I just wanted to shout out my dog.
Oh.
Way to go, Moose.
Dogs are awesome. Last night, or the night before, at 3 a.m, obviously we're all dead ass asleep. My dog, who sleeps downstairs since the day we brought him home.
Because he's the size of a horse.
Because he's the size
Guardian
of a
of the house.
We even have a baby gate.
Or a moose.
You know? It was 3 a.m, and I hear this rustling downstairs. And sometimes he's a big dog, so sometimes if he gets up and then he's tired and he goes to lay back down, it sounds like, you could feel it. But I heard the baby gate going, ba 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 ba. And,
if this gate's a rocking, come and knock it.
Right. And it was one of those things that I was like, what the hell's going on? He breaks through the baby gate, storms upstairs, runs into Carter's room, runs into Izzy's room, and then my door's shut. Runs to our door and bangs on the door somehow, either with his butt or his head. And so, of course, now at this point, my wife and I are. She's like, "What the hell is your dog doing upstairs?" Of course, when it's 3 a.m, it's my dog, right? And I'm like, I don't know. So she goes, opens the door. He runs in the room, jumps up on the bed, takes his face and nudges it under me, and bugs his head. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like this crazy ass dog at 3 a.m. So we're like, all right.
Nicole, did he get into your cocaine again?
Right.
It's when we did the secret Joe Steve podcast. We were down here.
So he can't go back down the steps because the baby gate is now broken. So he can't get back through because once he gets going down those steps, he can't stop. So we have to get up. The wife undoes the baby gate, and we go downstairs, and I hear my smoke detector going off.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Hear it from upstairs?
I couldn't hear because it was just the beep because the battery started to die. And it was a sound that he wasn't familiar with but knew that something was up.
Nice.
That's
and
pretty
Did you give him
awesome.
lots of treats?
I took him for a hike the next day. Nice. We spent the whole day treats and a hike, just me and him.
Shout out, Moose. When you listen to this episode next week, I hope it makes you feel good.
So pets, especially dogs, are awesome.
This reminded me of those Facebook posts when people love to tell their 2-year-old children how much they love them on Facebook.
If Mr. Moose ever listened to this, I love you, buddy. I think that we've gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves with the beer, especially Joe. Not necessarily Steve, because he's a truly guy through and through. But I feel like Joe, he's just gotten a little pretentious for this podcast and our listeners.
God damn it.
I like how you were like, I'm the bottom of the barrel of drinking beer.
Well, it truly is not bottom of the barrel, but when I went and bought
like
Joe
beers
beer,
that I can see through.
I like to enjoy the finer things.
Indeed, because I bought you a 4-pack that was like $35 and it had a sticker as a label.
It was good.
Okay, so what I wanted to do is get back to our roots, if that's okay with you guys.
Oh, sweet. So we're drinking some Bud Light tonight?
So what I went to the beer store and I got 3 just American beers.
Bud Heavies?
I'm not going to tell you what
head
it is.
splitters. I like it.
It's going to be a triple blind taste test, and we are going to judge the American beers.
Oh, so this is a taste test?
This is a taste test.
All right, so
I'm excited for
one
this.
of them's going to be Yingling, one of them's going to be Budweiser, and one of them's going to be
Now I'm passing these out.
Coors Light.
Don't take them out of these brand new limited edition Jim Joe Steve Show koozies.
Ooh.
And I don't know how the science.
I know what that is.
I don't know how the science happened, but someone told me that somehow these koozies make every beer taste 13% better.
No kidding. That's a very specific number.
Yeah, it's very scientific. Let's open the orange Jim Joe Steve Show koozie.
The orange one is delightful, and these we will have these I don't know what capacity. Probably giving them out.
I have
but
a feeling I'm really going to enjoy this beer, hon.
Cheers.
So this is a classic beer. How's it taste?
classic
Steve,
Baltimore beer.
Your face is squinched up.
That means I think I know what it is.
What would you say it is?
I was going to say this is a Natty Bow.
They actually brew Natty Bow in 2 different places. And I don't know if they're both in Wisconsin or only one
Here we
of them's
go.
in Wisconsin. But they taste different. They absolutely taste
Because
different.
of the water.
I don't know what it's from. One of them's a little sweeter than the other. But my brother pointed it out to me. I don't know if all the 12-ounce cans are brewed in the same place, but the 16-ounce cans are brewed in 2 different places.
Mm-hmm.
Natty Bow in a bottle is 100% delicious.
Especially in a 40-ounce bottle.
Let's do the White Jim Joe Steve Show limited edition koozie beer.
All right.
Does anybody know 100% what this beer is?
I do.
I do, and I think I know what it is. I'm gonna. Can I guess?
This beer sponsored BSSC for a real long time.
Oh,
You're wrong.
I think it's. I think it's very smooth because it's from the Rockies.
Oh,
It's
You would be wrong.
Oh, it's not. All right, then let me taste it.
Just describe it. Is this something you would drink if somebody's like, here's a beer?
This is something that I would drink if I wanted to drink like 10 or 15 of them. This is very drinkable, very light. I could drink a shit ton of whatever this is.
I was like, one of these have to be a Miller Lite.
That's what I thought this was.
I knew
Excuse me, a little
what
bit.
you thought I would get. And I purposely did not get what you think I would get.
So is this a normal beer that people would?
Listen, if your dad or your neighbor owned a Camaro at one point and it was not all the same
it's a
color.
natural light.
You know what?
Is it a natural light?
Well, take it out of the koozie, Joe.
It is a natural light. It is the Purple Moose in Ocean City.
Yes.
Still have these on special.
Giddy up.
And it does
And I
not
can
taste as bad as I thought it did.
So
No,
it's
super
actually
drinkable.
very good.
Did you know that like they sold these a couple years ago in like a 70 pack?
Yes.
It came in like an octagon.
Do you know the natural light in Wisconsin tastes better than the one here in Maryland?
You can chug on
but
my
it doesn't
balls.
taste as good anywhere as it does in a Jim Joe Steve Show koozie.
It does. I'll tell you what, it is.
Take another sip, Steve.
Jim is correct about the 13%.
Now this last one, I know you guys. I threw myself off when I saw this
I
because
mean, I already know what it is.
Well, don't say it. Do you know what it is? 100%? Because
Would you say it's an upcoming seasonal beer?
No.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought it was a Line and Kugel too.
I thought it was summer
So that's
shandy.
No,
what I
see,
thought.
I
All
threw
right.
you son of a
Okay.
bitches
so I
right
was,
off.
You did it.
I was like,
So by the can.
But I would be like, a Line and Kugel couldn't be a summer shandy, which is my all-time favorite beer.
Really? I thought To Hell or High Watermelon was your favorite beer.
Oh, before I had now summer shandies. Oh, a good summer shandy beer. I couldn't think of like
A funny thing to say about it.
yeah.
It's got a little bit more flavor than the Natty Light.
It's an all-day drinker.
It's less amount of
You can drink less of these.
less of these than
You gotta be playing volleyball to drink these, right?
I gotta tell you, out of the 3 we've had so far,
The Natural Light's the best.
Natural Light is the best. God damn it!
I know.
Maybe it's a callback to earlier
When you were
in
16?
life, when we were just
when things were just simple.
carefree, simple.
Yeah. All you had to do was worry about somebody's older brother being able to come through for you.
God, and my my biggest concern was, God, is the cigarette that I'm going to bum from this guy going to be a menthol or not?
So anybody want to take a guess? I mean, it's a great American beer.
Well, it's not Budweiser based on
No,
the can.
no. I knew if I would have got that,
Or Miller Light.
those two
Or
I knew.
CL Smooths. So
or a BL
Right,
Smooth.
those are the 3 that I knew I just couldn't get because we would guess it immediately.
I would say.
Go ahead, Steve. Go take that out of the
All
baby blue Jim Joe
I have
Steve
no
Show
clue what
koozie.
this is, and it is Bush
Busch Light.
Busch Light.
I don't know if I've ever had a Busch Light before.
That is awesome. You did go bottom of the barrel.
Okay, so I was a little upset. I really wanted a Pabst. I went there to get Pabst.
I would have been able to pick out a PBR.
And I do like Pabst, but they do taste a little peppery.
Refined palate.
But they only sold them in 30 packs.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not gonna buy a
You
fucking
were willing to
35.
make that commitment?
they were only $9, but I wasn't gonna.
Tell
I
me
wasn't
these are
gonna pull
all
the trigger.
loosies.
No, I bought a 6-pack of each, and I was going to buy a 6-pack of Pabst, but they only sold 30 packs. And granted, it was only $9.
Cheaper than the beers that Joe drinks normally.
Right. But I wasn't willing to sacrifice 27 beers because I was going to maybe throw away if I really just didn't like it, or
We could
sit
have
out.
given them to our
Less
listeners.
fortunate.
We could have filled the koozies that we were
Right,
gonna
yeah.
give out.
You buy a koozie, you get a free Pabst. It only costs $17 to ship. So, which one are you guys going to drink?
The
Natural
I'm gonna
Light.
drink all of them, but yeah, the Natty
Okay,
Light.
so I'm gonna
save that one for
I'm gonna
last.
say pace with you.
I'm gonna drink the Bush.
Cool. All right. Well,
So,
how'd you guys like that little game?
it was fun.
Our listeners
That was
hated
definitely
it,
fun.
but-
And
They definitely hated it.
But
You
okay,
s-
so to
you
sum it
stumped
up,
me. I knew the Natty Bow from the can. That's a
and it
very
sucks because
specific
they
can.
had the orange and black can, and I knew.
not the white one. The Natty Light, you've got this yellow light bulb above us, and it's making the top of the can have a slightly golden hue, and with the silver, the silver looks white.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, and then I definitely thought that this was a summer shandy.
Yeah, and this threw me off because I don't know if I've ever went shopping for Bush.
I've definitely never bought a Bush Light.
So when I saw it and the Pabst was a 30-pack and this was a 6-pack, I'm like, fucking right. Let's go for some Bush.
You guys remember my buddy Country?
Oh, yeah. He kicked in the door waving the 4-4. He said, I'm here to fuck shit up. My name's Country.
Oh yeah, that's him.
I love Country. He's going to do some tree work for me back in the day.
Did he ever do it?
No, he didn't.
But he was gonna.
He was going to do it.
So his uncle, I think he might own a catering company, but they do like outdoor events. Like they do like NASCAR races or sporting events or other things like that. And when the Super Bowl was in Arizona in 2002 maybe, his uncle did that, and they're responsible for not only cooking all the food but buying all the food for everything. So he comes home with a pallet of Heineken and Amstel Light.
A pallet.
And Country still at that time still lived at home with his parents. We were 18, 19 years old. My house was, it was me and Chris and McBain.
Fucking McBain. Does he listen?
I don't know.
Shout out McBain if you listen.
And if you don't,
Fuck you.
Country rolls in one day and he's like, my uncle dropped off this pallet of beer at my house. So we had Heineken and Amstel Light for an entire summer. And it was awesome. We had this huge 8x10 beer pong table in my basement. I had made friends with this guy that I had a college class with that lived across the street. And he lived in another house that had 4 guys in it. We were hanging out at my house or hanging out at their house. But that summer we hung out at my house a lot because we had a goddamn pallet of beer.
Anybody has a pallet of beer is normally the center of the party.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous amount of beer.
I to this day still don't know if I've had another Amstel Light or Heineken.
That's it's like summer shandies. I never get tired of, and that's why I can't wait for now that it's getting warmer and you start seeing them everywhere. I remember when I was in my old house and with the pool, I would
Pool in the crab shack.
and jump through a catch.
jump through a catch. I drank a whole bunch of them. You guys know my friend Brian. That
Your buddy Brian.
yeah, my buddy Brian that came over. We started asking questions about what would happen in a zombie apocalypse, and then
Start playing it out.
And then I told him that I would make him my princess.
Oh, Princess Brian.
Princess Brian.
Okay, yeah. Now I know who you're talking about.
I blamed that all on summer shanties. I was like, you would be my Channing Tatum in the Gimp mask.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Another a lot of beer story. My when I lived in the city, remember my neighbor Anthony?
Yeah. I'm still Facebook
Didn't
friends
you
with
drill
him.
through the wall and share cable? Allegedly.
Allegedly,
It's never been proven. He's never been convicted of
You
that.
had the idea.
We considered it. He calls me one day and he's like, "Hey, there's this beer store right next to my work. Changed distributors and they no longer are allowed to sell Labatt's Blue. So they're so they're selling.
I love that beer.
It's a pretty good beer, and they're selling 12 packs of bottles for $2.50 a piece. And he said, "Do you want any?" And I said, "How many can you fit in the back of your Xterra?" And he bought all of them.
That's awesome.
And he filled up the back of his Xterra. So for that summer, we drank.
It was
in
the summer of Labatt's Blue.
We bought so much that we ended up like throwing some, or at least I did. I don't know if he did, but I ended up throwing some
That's
away because I
awesome.
just couldn't
So-
drink that beer anymore.
Would you guys like to do this game in the future? The 3-beer blind taste test?
I mean, there's only so many recognizable beers, though.
And I don't know
Yeah.
if this is a great
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
game for
for our listeners.
now. Yeah.
the radio.
Okay, for
in
the
between,
listeners.
we could do that.
For our listeners, if you hated that little taste test, because basically we're recommending natural light is what we're
That's true.
Okay.
This summer
If,
at
if
all
you
your
hated
parties.
it,
If
call
you hated
us
it,
at the Jim Joe Steve Show voicemail at 856-843-5577.
the
That's-
JJSS, or tell a friend. Tell a friend how much you hated
And
it.
speaking of the voicemail,
We got a voicemail?
we did get a voicemail.
Who did we get a voicemail from?
Well, we got 2, but I'm only playing 1.
okay.
So
Why?
because we only have time for 1. It's a 30-minute show, Joe. Intern, can you cue that voicemail up?
Hey, this is a message for Jim. Jim, this is Jeff. I'm trying to sell a few of my lava lamps, and I was wondering if I could come on to the show one day and kind of show you what I have. Which lava lamps? I have some, 14-inch ones, some 20-inch ones. I even have a magnetic one that I think you might like. Yeah, so I'd love to come on the show, and maybe we could talk more lava lamps because I know that you like them. Okay, say hi to Steve and Joe as well. Big fan. All right, see you guys. Call me back. Bye.
Did you call him back?
I'm looking forward to meeting your friend Jeff.
All right, so first of
Did he
all,
say his
Jeff
name?
obviously likes me the most. You guys play second fiddle.
I'm
I know.
looking forward to hearing what a magnetic lava lamp. Can you tell me what a magnetic lava
I've never heard, so I'm interested to meet another.
lava lamp enthusiast?
Yes, because we are a dying
As
breed.
soon as did you get hard when you heard the 18 inchers?
I thought there's no way this guy has an 18-inch lava lamp.
Bullshit. I call bullshit on
That's the
that.
thing about lava lamps; they never get hard.
I just like it when they stay all
in-depth
gooey.
joke.
Yes,
So Jeff is not Steve's friend.
he's my friend.
Okay,
He's
It's
from Canada. Canadian. That's Canadian Jeff.
Oh, what's up, Canadian Jeff? Son of a bitch.
All right. Well, I guess
So-
we got to get Jeff on the pod.
Oh my gosh, I don't like when you said pod.
But Parthenon is okay.
Yeah, but not Parth. The pod. Hold on. Andy Dick was hauled off in handcuffs for sexually assaulting another man at the California trailer park he was living at.
Andy Dick lives in trailer.
Trailer park?
Fall from grace.
I know.
Son
God,
of a
he was at the
bitch.
top of his game in the Army now, and it's been downhill ever since.
Speaking of top of the game, can I talk to you guys about something that's been bothering me for probably 3 or 4 months
Is
now?
it the rapper the game?
No.
Oh,
Is there a rapper of the game?
There is.
Oh. Well, that's not it,
Okay.
but probably very close. And the only reason it stuck out is because I know that Steve likes to watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh,
I
Jesus
love
Christ.
it. I have
So-
Discovery. I have a subscription to Discovery Plus just for 90 days.
This is Joe. I'll talk to you guys next week.
So I've never watched the show,
Okay.
but I see this headline, and it was a couple months back, and for whatever reason it resonated with me, and I thought I'm going to bring it up on the show, and I never did, but then I thought about it the other day, and I was still pissed off about it. So I thought I have to bring this son of a bitch up because
Nothing like topical stories on Jim Joe Steve show.
Are you going to say the name of the character?
yes.
Don't say the. Leave it blank, and I'll fill in the name of the character once you tell the
Well,
story.
this
wants
was
to guess.
this was the side hustle of one of the characters.
Oh, she's farting in the jar. Didn't we talk about this?
We didn't talk about this.
Is it the farting in the jar?
It is
her name's Stephanie. Stephanie Mateo.
Stephanie
I think it.
Mateo.
How
I'm
did
sure.
we not talk
Matto,
about this? I thought
Mateo.
we talked about this.
Just so we don't get sued, let me just give credit to I don't know, it's E Online, whatever. So
They're They're listening.
I didn't know they did anything other than play that
Play old Howard Stern stuff from the 90s.
Yeah, me neither. But anyway, so let me read this. So 90 Day Star, I'm a couple beers in, so this is going to be a little slower. Stephanie Mateo, is that what you said her name
Yeah,
was?
I think that's it.
Okay, she went viral, of course, when she shared on TikTok that she made, over $100,000 selling farts in a jar, right?
Yeah.
But that's not my thing. Like, I don't mind. Sell your farts in a jar.
Uh-huh.
But let me just press on here real quick. But she quit selling farts in a jar because I thought, and I quote, I thought I was having a stroke and these were my final moments. She told Jam Press I was overdoing it. And then she recalls her painful symptoms.
Oh, that's right, because she had a really messed up diet to make herself
she
fart.
tells us her diet.
Oh, okay.
I could tell something was not right that evening when I was lying in bed and I could feel the pressure in my stomach moving upward. It was quite hard to breathe. Every time I tried to breathe in, I'd feel a pinching sensation around my heart. So she called her friend who took her to the hospital, and she was experiencing heart attack symptoms.
Oh,
but
because one of the farts went in reverse up to the heart.
It was just very intense gas. But she quit. But she also later on says she made $200,000. And this is what she says how she would start her day. She got the day started by eating beans, a protein muffin, low sugar yogurt, and hard-boiled eggs.
She sounds like a treasure.
While I waited for the farts to develop, I like to read. I'm very smart. These are quotes. I like to read. And when I'm ready to go, I just do my job. And she explains that she also liked to add flower petals to the fart jars. And she sold them for about $1,000 each.
Jesus. God, there are some messed up people out
So
there.
your knee-jerk reaction to that.
So who is the worst person? The person making the fart jars or the person buying the fart jars?
So, I mean, you can't really blame her. She found her niche, and she ended up on the tell-all. She said she just became a millionaire from selling
Right.
from
Okay.
her OnlyFans and doing stuff
So
like that.
when you if you were to apply that same logic to drug dealers, the drug dealers get the blame every single time.
but that drugs are illegal, not selling your farts.
They aren't, but maybe they should be.
Maybe I'd have a different idea if I was like,
My take on this is that this is what's wrong with the generation coming up today.
I think the people that are buying those farts at $1,000, Jim, are our age.
and this is what I'm saying. Our forefathers are rolling over in their grave. It was one small hospital stay, and she quit the whole gig. People used to go to work, and they would without shoes.
I thought you were going a different way.
They
You're
would
shitting on her for quitting.
They would get stitches, and they would go back to work. Do you know what she did to the jarred fart market? The supply and demand. Do you know how much it is for a fart in a jar now?
No.
it was like
It's like $2,000 because she took the supply away.
Yeah.
It is impossible
So
to
now-
get a decent priced fart in a jar.
It's the
you
second
guys ready
hand-
to play another game? I have 3 farts in a jar. You gotta find out which one's mine.
So the secondhand fart in a jar market is booming.
I don't know, but I mean, she took that entire supply off, so the price had to skyrocket.
So what do you do when you buy a fart in a jar? Do you open it up and smell it, or do you stick it on your shelf and you tell everybody that comes in, that's a fart in a jar from Stephanie Mateo?
That's a great question because
What did you do with yours?
Well, I took out quickly one rose petal.
But you closed it up.
I
before
closed it
any
up
of the
real
fart
quick,
got
real
out?
quick.
Like, do you think the guy that got it, as soon as he opened up the package, he took I'm just gonna have one little sniff, and then
does he save it?
Yeah, and then saves, and then see her whole story in 90 Day Fiance was what's the term when you don't have sex for a long time?
Celibate.
Abstinent?
She was like her whole arc on this 90 Day Single Life, which is a spinoff show.
So hold on, was she somebody who's trying to come to the U.S. or she's from the U.S.?
Originally, she was on 90 Day Fiance the other way, or before the 90 days, where she was dating a woman who.
She's a lesbian?
She likes to think she is.
Oh.
So she was dating a a woman that was in Australia. So she went to Australia to see if they hit it off.
Australia's a tough country to get citizenship in.
Well, and then the one girl she wanted, it was like you could tell it was never going to work out with them. Like they were just two completely different people.
She wasn't as business minded as Stephanie.
Probably not. And then so then she came to this other show called 90 Day The Single Life, where it was her trying to lose her celibacy, and that was like the whole thing. And I was like, if she really wanted to lose it, she could call any person, any of those fart jar people.
You don't mean she wasn't a virgin.
No, she wasn't
a
a virgin. Did she say virgin?
Are you a virgin?
Oh, insert Monster Squad here.
We get a virgin. A virgin? Okay, right.
Nice. So let's say her fart jars, they sold for $1,000. I don't know if she got free shipping at that point, but I'd imagine.
I bet you didn't.
So if you sign up for Prime.
For me to spend $1,000, it has to.
Was it if it's Britney Spears? If it's Britney Spears farts, would you spend $1,000? Would you spend $200?
If you have to spend $1,000, it's 1/11 of whatever Disney gave you.
But it brings you so much more joy.
So much joy.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is this bunch of rich dudes who just have so much money that they're like, let me throw $1,000 at this
I
chick.
don't think they're rich dudes.
Or is it guys that might have, let's say, $3,000 in their account, and they're like, this chick, I need to spend $1,000 on this
I think
chick.
it's guys that have $1,200 in their account,
Yeah.
and they're like,
they're
like, sweet, I don't have to pay mom rent anymore.
I 100% agree. I was listening to another podcast where this podcast.
Steven,
this
you listen to other podcasts?
There are other podcasts?
There are,
we
but
were the
this
only
I
one.
found this thing, and a guy came into this. They're the only brick and mortar podcast store where they have an actual store that you can go to.
Big time.
I know, and in it they had
Do you
one
wanna
of the
plug
guys.
them?
One of the
I
guys.
guess, well, they got brick and mortar. They don't need plugs.
One of their guys. He just had like a clip of his hair. They had a clip of his hair, and the guy who works in the store, they priced it at $2,000 because they're like, no one's gonna buy fucking
a clip of this
dude's hair because it's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Nobody would spend that much money. Somebody came in and bought it. He bought. So there's and he bought it. They were like, "Do you collect hair?" He said, "I only have two things. It was this guy and Shaggy 2 Dope from Insane Clown Posse." Insane Clown Posse.
Wait, what podcast is this?
Go ahead, plug
Is
them.
it the Steve Dave?
Yeah, it's Tell Him Steve Dave,
okay.
and it was Q from the Impractical Jokers.
Oh, okay. All
Holy
right.
shit.
They
All
have a
right.
storefront? Oh, is it the comic book store?
No, well they did have that, but they have another thing. But they do a whole bunch.
Just a podcast.
Would you shave
store?
your head for charity for $2,000, Steve?
Yeah, for $2,000.
I would shave
What-
my head for charity for $2,000.
Okay,
I
if
love
any,
it.
if
Wait a
any of our
minute.
listeners
I'm not sure
have,
if it would grow back. So maybe I wouldn't.
it's a $3,000.
You also
Yeah,
have
I
to
do.
wash
If,
their
if
hands
we
off.
just have a listener that just has too much cash to throw around and they want to donate it to charity, what would it, and seriously, somebody stepped up and was like, I want that motherfucker to shave his head.
That guy did that with the 2,000. Just before I forget it, that guy with 2,000. He worked for the post office, so it wasn't like
It wasn't like he was swimming in it.
Hold on.
yeah.
For $5,000, would you shave your eyebrows off?
How fast do eyebrows grow back?
You would look like the guy from Barry.
The Ukrainian.
Since I wear so many hats,
I was gonna say Jada
And-
Pinkett, but then I don't want somebody to come up and
My-
slap me.
my eyebrows balance my face out.
They balance everyone's face
That's
out.
the point of them. I think that's
But
the
you have-
evolutionary
you wear-
purpose of
you wear
eyebrows.
glasses,
Is
so
make
it's-
you not. I don't wear glasses. I'm wearing glasses right now
Why
as
are
a
you wearing
complete anomaly.
But
Because
why?
Give my eyes a break from
He
contacts.
got a nap before he came.
That's true.
I didn't get a nap.
He's more awake than he's ever been in his life right now. Can I wrap it up with, if one of our listeners wants Steve to shave his head to donate to charity, what charity you go into?
It's called
Steve's bank account.
Stevie's Choice. I don't want to give. I was going to say my last name, but I guess I'm not going to do
Well,
that.
Steve will shave his head for $2,000.
For $5,000 to the Casey Cares Foundation, Jim shaving off his eyebrows.
I will shave 2 lines of my eyebrows.
No cool
Ice
guy.
Ice baby.
And
All
if you
right.
want to talk about 90 Day Fiance, or you want us to talk about more, just leave us a voicemail.
All right.
856.
JJSS.
Jesus Christ. 856.
The JJSS.
Yeah, 856-843.
And we still have a
5577.
TikTok, right?
No.
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 What about an
What?
Instagram?
You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter
And
at
Twitter.
Jim Joe Steve.
At Jim Joe Steve.
All right.
And
hey,
for
Joe,
yo.
call Canadian Jeff. Get
All
his
right.
ass in here
Hold
next
on
week.
1 sec.
Not right now.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. When you fall asleep at the wheel on the way home.
All right, guys. For the Jim Joe Steve show, my name is Joe.
I am Steve.
I'm Jim.
And we'll talk to you next week.
See ya. Bye.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through.